Hello, everyone. This is IK Tutors, and we are here to do another HESI question. All right, so we see here it asks us to convert 750 milliliters to quarts. All right, so how do we do this? Well, this is a unit conversion. How can we tell? Because if we look at the numbers, we see that we have pairs of units. We have liters and we have quarts. Right. So whenever you see pairs of units, you look at the numbers and you see pairs of units, that tells you it's a unit conversion question. And once we identify it as a unit conversion question, we know we can use this conversion technique, three-step technique right here, to set up our equation and solve the equation. Because that's how we solve any and all word problems. We know, generally speaking, we're going to translate the word problem into an equation and then solve the equation. The difference is there's like four different types of word problems, is that we have to identify what type of word problem it is so we know which technique to use to get the equation. Once we know what equation we're using, we just simply pull out the numbers from the question and we set up our equation. So let's get started. We saw that this was a unit conversion question because it had pairs of units when we looked at the numbers. Now let's follow our three-step procedure. Step one is we're going to write the conversion factor. So we see that we're going between liters and quarts here. And it turns out that 1 liter equals approximately 1.06 quarts. Now, don't worry if you don't know these conversion factors too well yet. On the St. Paul School of Nursing HESI Support website, there is a PDF that has a listing of, it's 3 sheets in the PDF. You can download it from the website to your computer and then print it out and keep a hard copy with your notes, right? And one of the sheets has 24, something like 24 or 26 conversion factors on it. The other one has the temperature formulas. There's 2 temperature formulas you're going to need to know. And then another sheet has what we call numerical prefixes listed. There are 6 numerical prefixes you need to know. Those are like milli, kilo, centi. Each of those represent some numerical value, right? So there's a list of those prefixes and the values they represent, right? So you guys can go there and get it. I'm pretty sure we're going to walk through that at some point through the session. All right, and again, the link to the HESI support website, the St. Paul School of Nursing's HESI support website, is posted in the chat. All right, so please take advantage of that, copy it, and put it someplace we won't lose it. All right, so let's get back to the problem. So we did step one. We're going to write the conversion factor. It's 1 liter equals 1.06 quarts. That's done. Now we're going to do step two, which is we had to put this in fractional format because we cannot, this is an equivalence. 1 liter equals 1.6. We cannot do any multiplication or arithmetic with this at all. So we have to put it in the format that we can do arithmetic with, which is fractional. So this is great because we have 2 numbers in the conversion factor and 2 numbers in a fraction. All we need to know is which number goes on top. That's the only thing we need to know. And how can we tell? Well, the question tells us whatever unit we want to end up with has to be on the top of the fraction. So we go back to the question, we see we're going from milliliters to quarts. We're ending up with quarts, so quarts goes on the top. That's how we know. 1.06 quarts over the other thing. Now, we did step 2. We put it in fractional format. Last step is very simple. We're simply going to multiply by what's given. So what's given in this question? Right? There is 700, we have to convert 750 milliliters, right? Now, here, this is a slight deviation, right? Because we should know that what the HESI does is they don't give you harder mathematics when they want to make a problem more challenging. What they do is they give you more things to do in the problem. So we have to do a little bit of simplifying here so that we can get to pure liters. Right now, they're giving us milliliters. So we have to change that somehow to liters. And the way we do that is recognizing that milli is what we call a numerical prefix. You see this over here down at the bottom right? It's a numerical prefix, right? We have milliliters. So what we must do before we can multiply it by our conversion factor is we got to replace the milli with the number it represents. And you see here, milli represents 0.001 and multiply it out. So we're going to write 750. We're going to replace this numerical prefix milli with the number it represents, 0.001. liters. Now we work it out on our calculator. We get 0.75 liters as our pure liter amount, and that's the number we have to multiply the conversion factor by. So we have 0.75 liters, and then we're going to multiply that by, that's what's given in liters, by the conversion factor of 1.06 quarts over the other thing. And now we have our equation. So all we need to do is do the follow the rules of arithmetic. Now the first one says that whenever there's a fraction involved, which there is, all the numbers must be in fractional format. So we're going to put a 1 underneath this 0.75. That takes care of that. Now we're just multiplying fractions. So when multiplying fractions, the rule is we multiply across the top, we multiply across the bottom, and anything that matches in the top and bottom, they have to match in top and bottom, right, will cancel each other out. And when I say anything, I'm talking about units or factors of numbers. And here we see we do have units that match in the top and bottom. We have a liter unit on the top that matches with a liter unit on the bottom. So they cancel each other out. The only units we're left with is the quarts, right? So we make sure we know what units we're going to left with in our answer. And we see the quarts here at the top. It does not cancel out, so that's what we're going to end up with. And now the last thing we always do is multiply out the numbers or work on the numbers, whatever we have to do. So here we have, I'm going to start on the bottom. 1 times 1 is 1. And on the top, we have 0.75 times, what is that? 1.06. So let's do that on our calculators, right? And we get point, let me see. I'm not going to try to do this in my head. 1.06, we get 0.795. Right, so let's go ahead and do that. And you guys should do this just to prove to yourself that you do get these numbers and you get familiar with doing the calculations. Because it's all about practice, the HESI. The more you practice, the higher your score is going to be. Right. Okay, so we have 0.795 quarts over 1, and we know anything divided by 1 is itself. So our answer is 0.795 quarts. And this is the answer we should look for in the answer selection for this question. So I hope this helped, guys. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put your questions in the chat and our staff will answer it. Or you can go ahead to the St. Paul School of Nursing website. All right, HESI support website. There's a special website just for HESI. And you can go to the contact us box form anytime you want. Just click on contact us and put your question in there, right? You can type it in there. If it's a whole problem that you get stuck on, you can just take a picture of that problem and you can upload it. There's an upload box on the contact us form. You can upload it and send it, and they will be able to help you with that, right? So that's 24 hours, 7-day week support you get. Okay, guys, so please use that. It's a great thing. And hopefully, as I said before, this video helped. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe, right? You can find a link to the HESI support website in the description below. Have an amazing day.